we're kind of getting into this early. We'll get to the news later, but where was the most fun place for you, like town-wise? What town did you enjoy the most?
I never really, because I wasn't a partier, so
I didn't mean that.
I didn't see much of the town.
Yeah.
Just the ball diamond itself.
You mean you didn't hang out with Pete?
No. I didn't go to bars and chase women.
I can't do this. I gotta get going.
Well,
Coach,
yeah,
good seeing you again. Thank you for coming in. We'll get you here one of these
well,
Fridays.
yeah, he's going to come in because he's going to talk about his car show.
Talk about the car
Good.
show.
Yeah.
They did. But Boston and New York, you knew were the big ones there.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. You too.
Mike, before you get out of here, I do
You
want to
get
say
back for
something.
the alumni stuff? I went back a couple of years
Just a
ago.
golf outing.
I will say this about this man right here. Some of my proudest days and what I thoroughly enjoyed was getting to do Wilmington College
Good to
football.
see you.
This guy
Yeah,
really
no
had it
problem.
cooking for the football team. I'll tell you what, Mike, you did a heck of a great job at Wilmington College. Don't anybody ever say anything different.
Appreciate it.
A lot of fun times. Yep.
Thank you,
See
Charlie.
you later.
Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Good to see you.
Yep.
All right, now something just happened.
The unexpected guests are the ones that sometimes
I got
add
the
some more
black
flavor
wake
to it.
up Wilmington. So should we take a break while we wait on the black, or?
It'll probably start up again. I had to restart. I'm trying to log into Facebook. There's something going on with Facebook this morning.
1:15.
There's something worse than Facebook going on.
Oh, we are actively being stalked by a ghost out in the theater.
Murphy Theater.
The shadow is out there on the corner of the stage.
This reminds me of the time I was
Did you
trying
go
to do a
down and see him?
basketball game.
You did.
And we
what
strung
was
a
he
phone
doing?
line. I'm standing down at the corner of a gym. I'm trying to think which gym it was. Maybe it was Madison Plains or something. And I'm having to look at the ball came down on the floor. And I'm talking into a telephone trying to do the play-by-play.
So I don't know what it's
Oh, God.
And he felt a cold spot down there too.
Improvise.
Where there should not be a cold spot.
So are we still on audio wise?
We're on.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, because on mine it just has the black.
You're probably tuned in. We had to go to just a
It
live.
froze up
live.
on mine.
So you've got to
Yeah,
go
we've been
back and
frozen up on that.
you got to re-enter as a live.
It's Friday the 13th, 1 week late. We talked about superstitions last week, didn't
That's
we?
what it seems like.
Yep. Where's the black cat?
I didn't see
Just
one on the way
ask
here.
Leo DeRocher about black cats, right?
I didn't see one on the way here.
Oh.
That was weird because mine switched to yesterday's show on its own.
See, and I had a hard
that
time
was the only
trying to
thing
log
that
into
was
Watch
left.
D yesterday, and it kept reverting back to the
I am
previous
not
day.
getting, and it could be a spectrum problem too, but I'm not getting any.
Imagine that.
Joe Holdren's on. How you doing, Joe? Good to see you.
I'm not getting any.
So we're just
Wi-Fi.
still doing the phone. I
No,
got us back
That's on. We're on. We're on live.
Yeah,
So you're on.
I got it.
Yeah,
I got it
I'm
now.
gonna have to go upstairs because I can't pull it up on the iPad to even see the stream. I got to go up to the computer that's
Okay.
on the fiber.
Okay.
We got to get the fiber down here.
They got fiber. They just got it last week, but it's just upstairs. We're trying to get it down here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you teach at Eastern Brown your whole time?
It was Russellville. Yeah, it was Eastern Brown the whole time.
The whole time?
30
Wow.
years. A little over 30. Did some subbing when I was playing baseball. Did subbing in the off season.
Okay.
But I subbed at all the local schools. But started in '84 and finished around 2014 or 15. Too far back to remember.
Now I do have a question. Do they still have? I mean, I remember when I was a little kid, they used to do this. They used to have the old timers game. Do you ever get invited back for that?
Several times. Played on Crosley Field. We had the American League against the National League. That's when they flew Pete Rose in on the helicopter.
Really?
Landed him on the outfield at Old Crosley Field.
That's
He
crazy.
played first for National League. I played short for the American League.
Really?
Oh, and then I threw him out at home plate and he tried to score third. Hal Narragon was our catcher. He just passed away a year ago. He caught from Bob Feller
Oh,
from
wow.
Cleveland. He was Bob
Lord.
Feller's catcher. So we're talking about way back.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh,
he was
that's
in his
50,
90s
yeah.
when he passed away. But he was our catcher there, and let's see, Jim Maloney pitched for the National League at that time. This was back in the 93, 94 era. And we had old timers games. We had one at,
It's been a while though.
I
I
had one
hadn't.
in Cincinnati at Riverfront Stadium. I played short and what's that? I keep forgetting all these players. Brooks Robinson played third.
Wow.
And
That's
so
wild.
they
He,
interviewed.
he derailed the Reds in 70,
He was
yes.
about 60 years old and he hit one out.
Really?
Yeah. And the guy on TV, I can't remember his name, he goes, "What do you think?" I said, "Not my wildest dreams. Thought I'd be playing short and Brooks Robinson playing third."
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that something? Wow.
I said, that was pretty neat. And that's the time Bill Wills called me out at third base. I was standing on the base, the guy tags me, he goes, "You're out." I go, "How can you call me out?" He says, "I always wanted to call Kip Young out." So I got the chance.
Oh,
Oh my.
So he
oh
called me out,
my.
I'm standing there on the base.
oh, jeez.
Willsy.
So I kicked some dirt on him and went into the dugout.
Y'all bring some glasses. Here you go. There you go. Well, he
Yeah.
should kick
That's
some
the last
dirt.
time I saw him. I haven't seen him
Oh,
since. That's
gosh.
been 30 years ago.
Wow, and he's up in Cleveland now,
Yeah.
WTAM. Yeah.
He's been up there forever, right?
Yeah.
Seems like it, yes.
That's been a while
Great
back.
man.
Who were some of the players that you enjoyed playing with? Not the ones that were kind of good, but
Most
middle.
of Detroit players.
We were all-
We were all family. 17 of us came up through the minor leagues together.
Wow.
And we were pretty close knit players, family and just players themselves. But then later on, everybody goes their separate
Sure.
ways. They don't have cookouts together and travel together. But at that time, we
So would you say Trammell and Whitaker?
Oh,
And,
Trammell was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
him and his wife Barb, and everybody knew each other's wives and families, and just everybody got along. Yeah, Detroit was a good.
Who was the
I can't
power
say about
hitter
it.
at that time for Detroit?
Jason Thompson,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Jason, Ron LaFleur, Lance
Ron the
Parrish,
floor, yeah.
yeah.
Lance Parrish, yeah.
and Steve Kent played left
Yeah,
field.
yeah, that's right. Steve Kemp,
And,
yeah.
No.
and Rusty Staub. Rusty was DH.
For the Tigers.
Yep.
See, I remember him. He was with the Mets, wasn't he, most of the time?
Expos, Mets, Tigers,
Yeah.
yep.
And he came, very classy guy, very professional.
Stahl was.
Yeah, very professional. He was really into the game and just professional guy. And all our guys were pretty much, I mean, besides Rosema and Fidrich, they were
Fidrich was nuts
they were
anyhow.
just goofy as all get
Yeah.
out. But they were great guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I drove Fidrich around spring training in '79 because he didn't have a ride. So I had a car there, and I drove him to practice, and he was a great guy.
Did he carry a baseball with him and talk to it?
No.
Talk to it like they did on the mound?
Yeah.
Then they used to like build
Yep.
build stuff. Yeah.
He'd get his
Yeah.
dirt patted on
Yeah.
the mound, and just,
Before he pitched, he'd go back. In
but
the
that
back
was his
and
way of
make a little-
concentrating,
Yeah.
talking to the ball, doing all those antics. But he knew how to pitch, and he had good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Until he blew out his shoulder. But Rosema was a little crazy too. They was flaky, all get out. But once it was game time, they were ready to play.
Mark the Bird
Yeah.
Fidrich, yeah.
Boy, now,
He was a good guy.
Monday Night Baseball always loved to have it on. They put the Tigers on when they knew that
Yeah.
Fidrich was going to pitch. You knew the Tigers would be on for sure.
That's when he really got his notoriety on that against the Yankees, and he was flaky as all get out, but he was a lot smarter than you would realize about baseball for sure. And he was just a good guy. He always wanted to be a farmer because I was raised on the farm, and he was asking about the farm life. And he was just he was a great guy to be around. Rosie was a little crazy, but he could pitch, and once the game started, he was a good pitcher. He could play.
The question I've been wanting to ask you ever since we got together, and I've shared some things with you on the telephone too. Tell me what it was like being around Jim Leland. What was the qualities, the things about Jim Leland that, ignited a spark in you? Everybody talks about how great of a mentor he is. How was he towards you in your career?
He was great, but then I always pitched well for him. When you pitch good for a guy, the guy likes you a little more. But he treated the players all equally. I mean, knew how to handle all players, all situations. Other managers struggled with that because every player is different.
Oh, yeah.
You can handle this guy one way, and the next guy you can't do the same.
Right.
And Leland was a hard worker. He showed that, and he just wanted the same dedication and work ethics that he had, and he just expected them out of you. And if he did that, he loved it. But he was a great guy to play for. He'd have a little meeting before the game. He'd motivate you and just gave a good speech before the game, and everybody wanted to play hard for him. So I played for him in A-ball. We won the World Series. I played for him in AAA. We won the World Series there. I won 2 out of the 4 games for him.
Wow.
But he was just,
Those mud hens?
that was Evansville Triplets.
Evansville Triplets.
Okay.
That was in Evansville at the time in '79. And he was just a great guy to play for, best manager I ever played for, by far.
And it
No
was
comparison.
interesting, like you said, didn't mean to interrupt, but the standpoint, he always wanted to manage the Tigers, didn't get his chance until Dombrowski offered him the chance to do that, succeeding Alan Trammell. But you look at the thing that, with Sparky being available, that was the thing. Sparky had been let go by the Reds with Dick Wagner and all that stuff that happened in '78. So, maybe Jim would have gotten that call in '79 if they decided to move on from Les Moss. And who knows, your career could have gone maybe the other direction and went up.
Believe me, I think about that a lot.
I bet.
Yeah, well, same with Les Moss. I pitched real well. I was 11-3 for him in AAA in '78 before they called me up.
Right, after he succeeded Howard.
And a big thanks go to Les Moss. He was such a good teacher in baseball. He told me that you need to come out of your glove quicker and learn a changeup. So I did it. And before you know it, I'm pitching in the big leagues. And he was such a good instructor. He had Lance Parrish. I came early one day, and Lance Parrish was taking 100 balls from the pitch machine in the dirt, throwing him at 90 mile an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Teaching him how to block.
Yeah.
That's how Les Moss, what kind of instructor he was. So he got Lance Parrish up right then. He
Yeah.
just needed to learn how to block.
And the story about Dave Bristol, I was going to share this too. Dave Bristol really thought the world of Johnny Bench, and he made the move on from Johnny Edwards to him, and they had a roving thing there with catchers. But that's the thing that he did, the drill with Johnny Bench, and Johnny learned how to do that with all that rhythm going back and forth on those ground balls.
That's where Les Moss was a great instructor. In hindsight, I know he always wanted to manage in the big leagues. He probably should have stayed there and then had Leland go to Detroit. That would have benefited me either way, Les or Jim Leland. But what happened in '79, I was the number 2 pitcher.
Bingo, yeah.
And Rosemont pitched opening day, but the next day it snowed. So I got snowed out.
That's
So
Detroit.
Les
Yeah.
Moss never did this before. But he said, Kip, he goes, you're not going to pitch the next day. I'm not going to back all my starters back one day.
Yeah.
We'll wait 5 days and then you can pitch then. Well, I was used to pitching every 5th
Sure.
day because I was a control pitcher. And so then another bad luck happened. When it was my time to pitch, we got rained out.
Oh no.
Oh,
So you
no,
had
so
to
now
wait
you
again.
So I waited another
Restart.
5 days.
Yeah, real. Oh my God, you'd be
So the
rusty.
time I pitched, it was 15 days before I did
Oh.
my start.
Yep.
Well, I was throwing balls to the backstop,
Well,
controls
yeah.
off. It was bad. And Les, he never did that to me in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
But he thought the major leagues, he didn't want to back these other.
You want to save that arm.
And it hurt me in the long run.
Yeah, go on.
Because
But
then I
that's-
struggled with my control.
I'm sure that's what he was thinking. Was I want to keep you fresh. That
Yeah.
way, 'cause baseball season's a long season.
So then I got sent down to AAA, and threw a shutout against the Reds, AAA team.
There you go.
So, well, we knew you could pitch down there for sure, but you were struggling up here, but it's because I was missing so many starts,
Right.
taking too much time off. And finally I got back up to big leagues, and when I got there, was Sparky. And I go, oh no.
Jack Billingham warned you, right?
Yes,
Jack
he did.
Billingham said,
He said,
he don't like us.
He's not going to like a control pitcher.
He
So
loved that.
I thought I was good with Sparky when he first came up. He called me in the office and said, Kip, I need you to go for a couple of players in the minor leagues and tell them about it. So I did. And I said, boy, this is going good. And he looked at my socks and he goes, what are you doing wearing those stretch socks? And I go, well, they feel more comfortable, and these other socks that we have just aren't comfortable at all, and they're real short. And I said, but I don't have any problem. Do you want me to wear the short socks? I'll wear them. And I thought, well, everything's great. I don't know if he took that against me or not, because all the other players was wearing
You know what
them.
makes the difference? Yeah.
Because we like to stretch socks.
Now you had short hair and you didn't have a mustache, right? So I mean that was going in
Yeah,
your
that was
favor.
going good. And I pitched well for him. Not as well as I did for Ralph Houck in the year before. But I got 3 starts, and I was 1-1 with like a 3 earned run average. And
That's good.
And that was it. And he calls me in the office, said, well, I've seen you pitch. I'm going to send you to AAA, bring a couple guys up that I haven't seen. And they had 6 earned run average in AAA, losing pitchers, but he just wanted to see them pitch. So I got sent down. Another pitcher got sent down just because of that.
That's dumb.
So then I got called back up in September and pitched a little bit, and that was it. So that's when I got sold to Seattle. Got sold. sold me for probably a fungo bat and a bag of balls.
Pitching coaches. I think we had a conversation the other night. Was Vern Rule one of your pitching coaches?
No,
or
he was
just
a player.
a player with you.
He
Okay,
was in
gotcha.
AAA in '77 when I came up from AA, and he was there in '77. Then he ended up going with Houston, I believe. After that,
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 70. He'll be 71 in October.
Okay. Because you don't look it.
Oh,
I mean,
thanks.
yeah, that's why I'm like, you're saying all this stuff. He looks like he's my age or younger, you know.
Well, I appreciate
I'm
that.
60,
I've been
so-
pretty blessed with health and keep active, and just been blessed so far. Have a little allergies. Other than that, I'm
Oh,
pretty good.
same here. This spring's been terrible.
That's
for
a
that.
typical Ohio weather.
Now you were there after Detroit hosted the All-Star game, right?
Right. I was.
Yeah, I was 71, I think.
Oh, is
wasn't
that
it?
Yeah,
is
that
that
was
when
early
Reggie
70s.
Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 71.
Did you ever pitch against Reggie?
Yes.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, pitched
Have
against
success?
Yankee. Well, for a couple of bats.
Okay.
Hey, that's all right.
I struck him out the first time, got a standing ovation, and then I was ahead 7-2 in about the 8th inning, and I had 2-0 pitch on him. I said, "Here, hit it."
You hung
He
a
did.
slider?
He just threw a fastball right through the middle of the plate.
Oh, no.
It didn't go over the stadium, but it did go out the park.
Oh, geez.
But I pitched against a lot of Hall of Famers. But my claim to fame today is when I went up, I won my first 4 starts.
Yep.
Completed all 4 games, and no rookie pitcher's done that since.
Really?
That's right. Yep.
The first 4 starts as a rookie.
Yeah.
Now, there might have been people previous to me doing that, but that year, counting AAA in the major leagues, I had 16 complete games, and
That's almost unheard of today, let's face it.
250 innings in, and that's what shortened my career.
Probably
Yeah.
so.
I was averaging 8-9 innings per start.
Well, and that's unheard of today.
Oh, yeah.
It's a different game now.
100 pitches.
Because you go 5 innings, 6 max, and you're finished. I'd had a longer career. I'd say if they did the same thing with me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But when you're pitching well and getting everybody out, why take a guy out?
Well, and
Exactly, yeah.
In American League, you don't get pinch hit for at the time, which
Yeah.
everybody's
yeah,
DH now.
yeah.
Right.
But it shortened my career for sure.
So you did get to bat then.
Not in the major leagues. I batted in AAA.
Okay.
And I was looking up yesterday. I had 4 or 5 home runs because at Bowling Green, when I didn't pitch, I played center field,
Okay.
and I was the home run hitter in my junior year and batted 300. But my senior year, Coach Purvis said, "We need to concentrate on your pitching. We only bat when you pitch, and that's it."
Yeah.
Because it's my last year,
Right.
I get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And we did all that, and everything worked until I faced Eastern Michigan.
Yeah.
And Bob Lachenko struck me out 3 times in a row.
Oh,
God.
I couldn't hit his
Oh,
curveball.
my.
Oh.
And I was winning 4-1. In the last
Crap,
inning, the
okay.
guy hit a grand slam, got beat.
Oh.
I gave up more runs in that game than I gave the whole year.
Dang.
Oh my God.
So that gave me my second loss. I was 11-2.
Wow.
And but I ended up 37-6. But even with all those wins, they were still uncertain of my size, and that's the reason I got drafted in 23rd round.
23rd. I was going to
23rd
ask what round. Yeah.
And that's, your hopes aren't too high when you sign for $500 and you
Yeah.
get drafted in the 23rd round. But I gave it a shot, and it worked out. 2 years later, I was pitching the big leagues.
Something unfortunate, and I just want to bring up from the standpoint, now things are much better with the players' agreement and everything like that. But unfortunately, you and another good friend of mine, John Warden, Tigers, you guys are kind of a victim of what has transpired back in the earlier days versus now with your pensions. You didn't get enough service time, and as a result of that, you got shortchanged, my friend. There's no doubt about it with a baseball pension.
Right, but they did finally settle for us. We do get a little bit per year, and it may run out next year or the year after that.
He doesn't need that. He's got state teachers retirement. He's selling cars.
See, he had a plan. That's right. He had a
Hey, you
plan.
shouldn't not bring that up. But we do get a little bit. John and I had the same about the amount of time of service in the major leagues. Only thing, he got a World Series ring.
He got a ring because he was with the Tigers in
He was with the
'68.
Tigers.
Yeah.
And John's a great guy. I've known him for 30-some years.
Oh yeah, he thinks the world of you. We was talking the other
go to
night.
golf outings, great family. And he's one of the funniest guys I've ever met.
Now, in your
Oh,
triple
yes.
A and your double A or single A world championships, did you get rings for that?
Yes, got
That's
one.
cool.
We beat Mario Soto in 1976.
Whoa.
And Jim Leland was the manager. And in 1979, when Sparky sent me down to AAA, we won it against the Philadelphia Phillies AAA team in '79, and I won 2 of the 4 games for Jim Leland.
Right.
Jim calls me in the office. Great motivator, great guy.
He certainly was.
He said, "Kip, we got to have these for me and you." You know,
Because he's wanting to get to the big leagues too. Yeah, yeah.
And I said, "Jim, you know I always give it my all." And I won 2 games for him, and we'll never forget that. And I saw him at Cincinnati Reds game years ago, and he came up from the dugout. Said, "Boy, we had some good times, didn't we?" And I said, "Yeah, it was pretty nice. Only thing, you last a lot longer in major leagues than I did."
And you talk about relationships, and the thing I always admire, I used to listen to a lot of ball games, on the radio and so forth. But the thing I always did like about him was he took Gene Lamont with him wherever he
Yes.
could, unless Gino had a chance to manage somewhere. And he mentioned Gene at the Hall of Fame
Oh,
induction.
yeah.
He says Rich Donnelly and Gene Lamont were extra managers for me in the dugout, and he and Gino had such a great relationship.
Yeah, and Tom Brookins too.
Yes.
Tom Brookins was my roommate in AAA.
Yep.
He said, "Kip, if I get one day in the big leagues, I'm a happy camper." He got called up as a utility player. Sparky started him, made a couple great plays, a couple good hits. Sparky loved him. Played there over 10 years. Got
Wow.
10 years in the big leagues. And talk about a happy guy.
One shining
Now,
moment.
Sparky was one guy that Tom Brookins was thankful for.
Yeah.
Because Sparky really liked him. Sparky liked you, he was in there.
You're in, yeah.
But he didn't, very seldom, he liked rookies and younger players. He liked the veterans,
Yeah.
but he couldn't touch Tremor Whitaker. He couldn't touch Jack Morris. And he
Right.
couldn't touch Lance Parrish. That was 4 guys.
They wouldn't want to, I wouldn't think.
No.
Yeah.
But he got rid of Jason Thompson, and that was one regret he had.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah.
He said that was one mistake I did.
Tiger Stadium was built for him.
Yeah.
My gosh, yes.
But unbelievable. I pitched better games in Tiger Stadium than I did anywhere else because the grass was 3 inches tall, and I was a sinker ball pitcher.
I was going to bring up any other ballparks where you felt like you were more at ease on the mound.
Tiger Stadium,
Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
and I didn't not like any other places. They were all fine, but the grass was so thick, and I got fielders like Trammell and Whitaker and really Rodriguez at third.
Oh yeah, he was
I
good
said,
too.
"Here, hit the ball," and it's an out. As long as you kept it in the ballpark. Yeah.
I heard something last night that kind of rang a bell with me too about these pitchers. You want to get ahead on the count. You don't want to waste a pitch. First pitch strikes. Scotty Breeden was a pitching coach for
He was
the
mine.
Reds.
Yeah, he was mine.
And I thought he was right, exactly. And that's the thing he always talked about was first strike pitch and stay ahead of the count. Don't fall behind.
Right, and that's where I did so well. My control was excellent. A curveball, changeup, anytime in the count, and get the first pitch as a strike. Don't have to be through the middle of the plate. Just be a strike. And he was. It's funny you mentioned Scotty Breeden, batting in AAA, and he goes, "Skip, get back in the big leagues. You need to throw a spitball or a grease ball." So we were out there and we had some kind of gel. And I said, "Scott, this is not working." So I took a little more off my finger, and I went to throw it to him, and he went to catch it and hit him in the kneecap.
Oh,
He
wow.
said, "Now you got it." I said, "Yeah, 1 out of 10 pitches isn't
Yeah.
going to work, Scott." And we tried it. It didn't work because a lot of pitchers was scuffing the ball and putting grease on the ball, and it just didn't. I was trying everything I could to get back to the big leagues, trying split fingers, trying grease balls. Just didn't work for me, but it did for some. Some could scuff up. Mike Marshall, he always had a
Oh, yeah.
scuff in the ball. When I go out to the mound, there'd be a scuff in the ball. I tried it once, and I threw it to Lance Parrish, and the ball sailed to the left and hit the backstop. I said, "I haven't figured out how to use this mark on this ball."
Okay, so the thought comes to mind, what is it when you do that makes the ball have a different motion? What is
That
it?
little mark on the ball, if you hold it the right direction, it's really going to tail one way or the other. If you hold the mark right. And I had that scuff ball that Mike Marshall had. I held it the wrong way. And to a right-hand batter, it sailed 3 feet to the left of Lance Parrish and went to the backstop. Then he had it perfected. then the grease on the ball, when you let it go, it slides out of your hand, it just makes a
Right.
funky spin and dips down. It's like, almost like a split finger fastball.
But we're not recommending this for any kids out there. that-
No. It's just little tricks in the trade. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it
Well,
still
they can't
goes
do
on
it
today.
anymore. You can't do it. They check the ball so much, check
Every
the glove
inning.
so much.
Yeah, every
And, Now
inning,
that stuff
glove,
doesn't
yeah.
happen because Larry Rothschild, he got grease on his glove when he was playing in the minor leagues. Because he was with me in the Reds, and then he went to Evansville, and I was with the Reds. And one of our players said, "Hey, he's rubbing his glove all the time." Went out there, called timeout. They threw him out of the game. But you can't do that anymore because the umpires are checking over it.
Gaylord Perry, you
Oh
remember
gosh,
him?
yeah, big time.
With the
Oh
nail
my.
file in his pocket.
Joe Necro.
Yeah, and people did some then, but then you had your loaded bats too.
Yeah.
That's
Python
true.
Bats, you
Yeah.
had
Cork, yeah,
You had
cork in the
cork
bat.
in your bats, and I just don't think much of that goes on anymore.
They got those, what do they call them, bottle bats now
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever?
Tornadoes.
Tornado bat.
Tornado
Have you
bats.
seen those?
I've seen them. but I don't know
Torpedo,
anything
tornado,
about
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
That was a big thing, and was it, who was it, the Yankees played
New
the
York
first
and
series?
Minnesota, wasn't it?
But I thought it was Detroit, maybe.
No, it was Minnesota.
No, it was Pittsburgh.
I know
Because-
Sammy Sosa had one.
Well,
busted, yeah.
this year, New York Yankees had so many home runs in that first
Yeah,
series.
tornado bats.
That, yeah, they thought about, that was a big rage, and they just figured out it was Pittsburgh's lousy pitching is what it was.
That could have been. You still got to hit the ball.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Pirates haven't been the same since Leland
No.
and Gino left,
No.
no doubt.
No,
Oh
yeah.
Lord. Oh gosh.
Now, as far as, who was the person you hated to see come up to bat?
Slap hitters. Little punch and judies, I call them.
Yeah,
Punch and Judy.
But they were good hitters.
yeah.
Guys like Rod Carew, left-handed hitters that were base hit hitters.
Yeah.
Wade Boggs, I had a hard time
yeah.
getting him out. We played in Puerto Rico together,
Yeah.
and in batting practice, he said, "Give me your best stuff." I couldn't get him out. He was just so good. He would slap my fastball to left field and my curveball to right field. I
Wow.
couldn't fool him. He was a tough hitter. George Brett was another, but George had power too. A story with him was his first time at bat. I struck him out in 3 pitches.
Oh, neat.
Milt May comes out. He was catcher right before Lance Parrish, and they switched back and forth. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I just struck one of the best hitters out in 3 pitches. What do you mean what I'm doing?" He said, "You're going to see him 3 more times. What are you going to throw him now? He's seen all your pitches at one at bat." Boy, he let me have it.
Oh.
He said, "You don't show all 3 pitches his first at bat." Well, he lined out to center field the next 3 times.
There you go. That's all right, yeah.
So he's over 4, but he came out and that was a lesson. Yeah, he said, "You don't want to show him all your pitches
That makes
first time."
sense.
And but I did. George was a heck of a player. Like I say, I pitched against a lot of Hall of Famers back in the late '70s.
Was he Jastrzemski retired by then?
No,
Carl?
I faced him.
How'd you do against Carl?
If he didn't swing at it, it wasn't a strike. You could throw it to the middle of the plate, it was a ball. So I said, "Well, here, hit it."
Yeah.
Thank goodness the wind was blowing in about 50 miles an hour. He hit 3 to warning track in center
Oh,
field.
wow.
And 3 of would have been home runs otherwise. But I got beaten 1-0 in that game.
Oh.
Jim Rice hit a home run, it's still gone. And Fred Lynn hit 2 singles, and I got beaten 1-0 there.
Oh, that's it. Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
it was one of those games that in '78 I pitched really well. They just couldn't score runs. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I got beat 2-1 twice, 1-0 there, and then the next year in '79 they scored me runs, and I couldn't get out of the 5th inning
Jeez.
at times.
What was Fenway Park like
Great
pitching
park,
there?
great park to pitch in. The crowd was a little rough.
Yeah.
The bullpen was out in right field, and the crowd was right over top of you. So you heard a lot of nasty stuff.
Then getting beers dumped
Beer
on
park.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't get anything thrown at me, but Yankee Stadium was tougher. They were a rowdy crowd. They were diehard Yankee fans.
And this would have been the old Yankee
Yes,
Stadium.
the old Yankee
correct, yeah.
Stadium. And any team came in there, we were enemies to that crowd.
Oh, yeah.
And it was unbelievable crowd. I pitched against Thurman Munson there.
New
And
Yorkers.
Reggie, they had a tough team. Lou Piniella was one of the toughest guys to get out. He played left hit. He batted about 300, base hit hitter. But those lefties that slapped the ball like Carew and Wade Boggs and those guys, they were tough for me. because they could wait back.
Well, Pete did that too.
Pete was same way.
Yeah.
Pete would have been a tough guy for me to get out. Never faced him. I did face the Big Red Machine in '79, but didn't have Pete and Tony. And Ken Griffey led off with a triple. And he scored, and then I shut him out for 7 innings.
Wow.
And I always joke with George Foster. I said, George, I struck you out. And he goes, when did you do that? And I said, spring training. He said, that don't count.
He's gonna be in town tomorrow.
Oh, he is?
That
Oh, George,
partnership.
he's a good friend of mine.
We
He's a
have-
great
well,
guy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're not doing anything, you're having a sports card show out here at the Clinton County Fairgrounds. A guy named Ryan Briggs, who's also a teacher.
Yeah.
He's putting it on, but George is gonna be out there signing autographs.
George's a
I'll
good
be
guy.
out there.
He's funny. Him and Warden's are really good buddies. And, you get those two guys together, you got something funny.
You know, they talk about, I didn't mean to interrupt, I
You're good.
apologize. They always talk about trades that Bob Housen made, and he made some good ones, more so better, the big blockbuster was the one. But I always felt like that trade right there, when they gave up the Vern Geisters and Frank Duffy, who was never gonna, get a chance to be shortstop for the Reds because Dave Concepcion was there, but they made that trade with the Giants and got George Foster. Look at how the Big Red Machine just exploded after that.
Oh yeah, George was a key factor in that deal. George, he's a heck of a hitter. I didn't want to face him too many times, but in '78, I had a lot of confidence. Well, I had a lot of confidence all through my career because I wasn't used to losing, and I've always won a lot of ball games. But when you got your confidence, you don't care who's up there. In '78, I didn't care who batted because I knew I was going to do well.
Yeah.
I just had good stuff that year.
Like you said, the first 4 times out, 4 complete games, 4
Right.
straight wins.
In my advantage, most of them hadn't seen me. They didn't know guys would
Right.
throw
Right.
3-1 curveballs, 3-1 changeups, 3-2 curveballs. They weren't expecting that from me. So I had the advantage at that time. A lot of the guys didn't know that. We all came up to minor leagues, a lot of us did. And I've seen a lot of the players through the minor leagues. But for the veterans, they didn't see me. Johnny Bench never saw me pitch, never faced me. Neither did Foster, neither did Brett, and all those guys. So when they saw me for the first time, he goes, "Wow, this guy's throwing me a 3-2 curveball. Where'd this come from?"
This guy's nuts.
Well, the
That's
next
probably what
time-
they thought.
The next time, the third time, fourth time they see me, now they're expecting it. They didn't expect it then, so I kind of had
Right.
advantage of that when I first came up. And then the next year, they kind of knew me a little bit. They know you like a book now.
Oh, yeah. Well, they got a book on it.
Yeah, they whatever. They know. And Rusty Staub told me when he studied pitchers so much, most of the pitchers, he knew which pitch was coming. That's how well he
Wow.
knew the pitchers. So, and a lot of other hitters the same way. He's the only one that told me that he knew the pitchers were coming.
Something I've often wondered watching games too is the pitcher shaking off the catcher. Did you shake off Lance Parrish very much,
No.
or Milt May?
No. Milt and I probably had a little better relationship than Lance at the time because Lance was just coming up. But I did pitch to Lance in AAA, was advantage, in Detroit also. But Milt knew me like he knew, okay, it's 3-2. You better throw a curveball at this guy, and he would call it. We just focused so well together. Lance, it got better as we went on together, but he might not call for that 3-2 curveball. But you got to have a good relation with catchers. And I do want to mention, all my career, I had good catchers. High school, Legion ball, college, and professional. Everywhere I went, I had a good catcher. And if you don't have a good catcher, you're going to struggle as a pitcher.
Yeah.
You got to have that good relationship with your catchers. And I had it all through my career.
That's good.
From high school clear to major leagues, I had good catchers everywhere.
I was thinking about something too. Did you play for Dick Schaefer?
Yes.
Oh my
3
gosh,
years.
yeah, what a legend he is.
3 years. I was about 35-3 there over 3 years. I had good catchers. We had good teams too. My first year, I was 16 years old, and I was 13-0 with 13 home runs, and we got second in the state that year.
Wow.
And our best pitcher, Paul Howland from Greenfield, was drafted. We didn't get to use him. If we'd had him, we would have lost.
Where did he go?
He signed with the Tigers
Okay.
in 72, and yeah, 70. It was in the early 70s.
Paul Howland?
Paul Howland, Howlan. He was from Greenfield, left-hand pitcher, and he never got out of the minor leagues.
Oh, he didn't? Okay.
I think he was a little wild. he threw hard, and he was on that team in 1971. That's when we went to the state tournament, American Legion ball. Schaefer was just ahead of the other coaches. I learned a lot from him. He just knew the game.
Yeah.
He knew the game. So I played center field some and shortstop and pitched. And because Gene Bennett was a scout for the Reds at the time, you probably
Yes.
remember him.
Oh, yeah, from
He
Portsmouth,
come.
yeah.
Funny story of him. He came up.
Turn that mic off.
He came up to the screen when I was. Yeah, he came up to the screen when I was getting ready to bat in a Legion game, and he said, "Kid," he said, "you need to stick with your hitting. Don't worry about your pitching."
Whoa.
He said, "You got power. You can run," and he said, "Stick with your hitting." And that was Gene Bennett telling me this.
Wow.
And a few years later, I was in the major leagues pitching.
Figure that one out. That's
Well, he
really
just-
strange.
He didn't think I threw hard enough, didn't like my size, which all of them said the same thing. And
Well, you're not that.
5'11", 175. He's
Yeah,
got a real
once
big
they
pitcher.
thought you were small.
Yeah, small for a pitcher.
That's probably
And,
Tom Browning size. I
And
bet.
he was right, because I thought I could hit till I faced Bob Ochenko, threw me 3 curveballs. And I couldn't
Good
foul
morning,
it
good
off.
afternoon,
Or
good night. Yeah,
yeah.
right.
So I thought I was pretty, and I was a good hitter, and but the curveball got me. But Ted Kozuski saw me hit batting practice one day, and I hit about 6 or 7 out. He said, "You give me 2 weeks with you, I can make a hitter out of you."
Oh, I bet he could.
And,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great guy
Yes.
to me. But I stayed with the pitching.
He did you ever like help him or work with him at his baseball camp in Bainbridge?
No, never did.
He had that camp
Oh,
there
yeah.
for years.
Yeah, Ted was really good. I just got the end of my career, got to meet him, and he saw me take batting practice, and that was about it with him. But I had a lot of experiences in my career. I got to be at Chicago White Sox when they had disco night and they blew up the field.
Oh, yes.
I was there in the dugout,
Whoa.
hiding under the bench, so I wouldn't get hit with a flying frisbee. They flew records everywhere.
Oh, gosh.
Is that when they wore the shorts? Remember Chicago White Sox
I don't
one
know
year
what
wore
outfits
shorts?
they had on. They blew up the field and they had to forfeit the game to us because everybody there was drunk and the fans, not the players, just the fans, because they had cheap beer night. And they were
Yeah.
throwing records like frisbees, and Dave Roseman looked up above the dugout. He had his helmet on and bounced off his helmet from up in the stands. And that was one experience. And then they had an umpire strike in '79 for one day. I got to pitch to a college umpire instead of a major league umpire.
Was that your advantage, though?
He called a good game. I said, "What am I going to say? You're better than the major league umpire."
Yeah.
And then the same year, women were allowed in your locker room, and talk about experience there.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
So that all in 1 year, I got to experience a lot of things besides
70s, baby. 70s.
getting the pitch. So that was pretty interesting. But I was just blessed to get to play there and get experience in major leagues for a couple seasons. And I wouldn't redo anything, I don't think, differently. Try to get along with Sparky maybe a little better. I tried. I went in his office. I'd Sparky. I like when you managed for the Reds and love playing for you, and I don't know what I've done wrong. He said, "That's baseball." That was it. His only answer.
Yeah, and didn't he make a comment once that was the secret to managing the team was you always have to have 13 on your side versus the other 12 that maybe didn't like you. It was almost like a 50-50 split.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But in his defense, I didn't pitch as well that year as I did for Ralph Houck the year
Exactly,
before.
78,
If
yeah.
the worst thing ever happened to me was Ralph Houck retired.
Yeah,
Because
I
I
agree.
had an unbelievable season for him. He just sat back and said, "Kip, go pitch." And that's what I did. Never said a word, never came out to the mound. The only time he came out to the mound was one mistake he made. Is Roy White was up for the Yankees, and I was winning 2-1, runners on first and second. And he said, "Do not throw him any off-speed pitches whatsoever." I said, "Okay, no problem." After the 7th fastball, the 8th one he hit out of the ballpark.
No, geez.
He fouled 6 or 7 off in a row. Well, he told me not to throw a breaking ball or a changeup, and I got beat 4-2. That was that. But
Seems like a changeup would
he
be
didn't
good.
realize that he was going to keep fouling and fouling
Yeah.
off, and finally got a hold of one and beat me 4-2 there. But Ralph was an amazing man, great
So,
guy.
When you threw a change, was it like the circle change?
No, I held it a little different. I held it with 3 fingers, threw my wrist in. Sorry about that. And threw my wrist in and made the ball sink like a screwball.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a script.
It's almost like a circle change. They
Okay.
came with that later on.
When I was doing my research last night, of course, Ralph was very successful, with the Yankees, but he left when Steinbrenner took over and so
Right.
forth and moved on, came to the Tigers, had a 4-year deal. At the end of the 78 season, was there any talk of him re-upping, or was he already thinking about leaving because he ended up going to the Boston Red Sox?
Yeah, I don't know about that situation. All I know, I hate to see him go.
Yeah.
Because, when you pitch so well for somebody
Yeah.
and they like you and you already got the upper hand, next year going in, this guy's going to pull for you and keep you as long as he could.
Right.
But Les was fine. It was just the rain outs and the snow outs.
And that
just
affected you more than anything.
affected me more than anything than Les.
Right.
He was a good man, good manager, but it was just by luck, bad luck, that I got those rain outs. But
Should just let you pitch the next day.
yeah, he should have, but that's what I thought, but I wasn't the manager. And then with Sparky, everything changes. And when you get new ownership or new manager, things change.
New coaches, exactly,
Sparky didn't see me pitch the year before. He
Right.
didn't see all those great outings I had. So in his defense, he didn't see me, he didn't know
Right.
me. He just saw what he saw. He wasn't 100% behind it.
Right.
He was okay with it, but he was rather have somebody else there than me.
It's like you had to make an audition for him.
Right, exactly. Had to
Yeah.
do it all over again. Then when we went to
that's the
Seattle, I
end.
had to do it all over again there for Darryl Johnson and Mel Stoudemire as a pitching coach.
Oh, I really like
And
him.
I had
Yeah,
to start
he
all
was
over
good.
again. And then when
Yeah.
I went to the Reds, you had to do it all over again. That's part of baseball. But probably the most thing I was proud of anything in my career is after getting drafted in the 23rd round, hopes wasn't looking too good. And then when I went to the minor leagues, you had to beat all these guys that were signed in the first 10 rounds. So I was going against guys like Pat Underwood and Jack Murphy. All these guys were first, second, third round guys, and they were going to get a lot more looks than I was. So
Right.
if I had 2 or 3 bad games, I was going to be sent home. So every game. So that's probably more proud of because I had to beat all these guys out.
Right,
I couldn't have bad games, they could have.
right.
So each level I went to, because in AA, the only reason I made it there was not because of starting pitcher. Only way you're going to get there is a reliever, because we're using these first round draft choices as
Right.
your starters. I said, fine. Well, that was the best thing happened. I was throwing harder and better than ever, coming in 1 inning or 2 innings at a time as a reliever. Ed Brinkman was our manager down there in AA.
Cincinnati guy,
Yeah.
Walnut Hills.
So
Walnut Hills.
so the head guy from Detroit come to see Mike Burns pitch. He was a starting pitcher. He got shelled, left about the 3rd or 4th inning. So this head guy come to see him. Well, Ed Brinkman brings me in. I finished the game 5-6 inning shutout ball. Well, they send me up to try.
There you go, yeah.
So in this life of anything, timing
Oh,
is so
yeah.
important. And a lot of times, if you're at the right time, good things can happen.
And like you said, with that strike in 81, I think you would have really thrived under John McNamara's tutelage, and especially Bill Fisher. Bill Fisher was all about control, and like you said, the first pitch strikes, they had a change of philosophy, moving on from Larry Shepard with Sparky,
Right.
bringing Bill Fisher. And I think Bill Fisher was a heck of a good pitching coach for the Reds.
Well, then you forgot the third thing, Johnny Bench.
And Johnny Bench.
Would have been a nice guy to pitch.
Nice, yeah, and no doubt, sure, exactly. And let him call the game.
I really missed that. I had my chance to pitch to Johnny Bench. And I
Wouldn't
didn't
that have
get-
been something? Oh,
That would
gosh.
have been a great. Then I'd had 100 tickets I'd have to get to.
Exactly. Timing, as you said, just timing
so
worked
much.
against you, my gosh.
Early in my career, timing was great. End of my career,
Yeah.
it wasn't so
The
great.
door slammed in
But-
your face.
But that's your baseball life. A lot of parts you don't hear about. A lot of players
Yeah.
go through the same thing I did. I wasn't the only guy Sparky got rid of. There were other players too that probably should have stayed. But when you're the manager, you get to make that decision.
Right,
And
right.
it just
Yep.
happened. I wasn't there for their plans.
Yeah, that's a shame.
But overall, I was blessed and had a great experience and wouldn't do anything different again.
Oh, well, tell you what, we appreciate you coming on today.
It's about time, yeah.
If you ever want to come back, you're more than welcome.
Okay,
Just let
sure,
Bill know.
sure.
And if you want to buy a car, where do they go see you?
Hillsborough Auto Sales and Roger Williams Auto Sales.
No, where's that
Route
at?
62.
In Hillsborough, Ohio, right across from Jerry Hague.
Right across from Jerry Hague.
So we got 3 car lots. One for
McDonald's.
Jerry Hague.
Hey, everybody always wants to know where McDonald's is. If you know where McDonald's is, They're right beside
They're-
them.
yeah, right
You can't
beside
miss them.
All used cars,
All
right?
used cars, mostly trucks, but been there at that place for 7.5 years. But I was at M&M Autos down at Newmarket for 12 years, and Brown County Motors in Russellville, where I taught school,
Yeah.
a couple of years. But this, my last here, probably till I retire for good, is down there in Hillsboro. Enjoy it. Get to see a lot of people. I
So
haven't
who's
seen.
the owner of that?
Rod Ferguson owns Hillsboro Auto Sales.
He's a good guy. Yeah.
And Roger Williams passed away. He
Yeah.
used to own that for like 45 years. And a couple, Tom and Don Wilkin, owns the Roger Williams Auto Sales. They're renting off of Hillsboro, so we share the lot together.
But that is actually two different
Two
dealerships.
dealerships, same
You sell
building,
for
same
both.
owner.
See, it used to be up there where the old
Work for
Hillsboro
both.
Ford. It used to be up there where the Hillsboro Ford store was, and then of course then Goodwill came in.
Yeah.
So then they moved down and merged with you
Sure.
guys. Right.
Yeah, so I enjoy meeting people, just a non-stressful
Are you
job.
a salesman?
Yeah,
or-
salesman
oh,
there.
Okay.
Salesman there, and I answer the phone for both.
Right.
Work for both, basically, and got good people down there, and just enjoy it. It's just
That's
like I say, a
fun.
non-stressful job.
Yeah.
At my age, I need a non-stressful job.
Well, you
Yeah.
got, you got,
And I'm still active, played a little golf. Had two sons, 43 and 42 years old.
where you
They
play
live in
golf
Maynard.
at most time?
Oh, it used to be White Oak, but now they've closed down. So either Hillsboro Elks, Wilmington Elks, Buckeye, Snow Hill, about those four main ones. I'm
Okay.
not a great golfer, but
Not
still
same
like to
here.
play.
I
I did-
go out and ride the cart. Hit 100 yards and straight. That's about me right now. It's,
I had 200 some yards, but they're not straight.
I go about 100, 110, 150 right there.
It's something to do exercise. I like to exercise and work out a little bit. But my two sons are Kyle and Chad, and I have a granddaughter Veda, and see them every Friday night. We go out and eat every Friday night.
There
Enjoy
you
time
go.
together, and we're all three bachelors, and just hang out together and,
That works out good,
have
yeah.
have a really good time.
And I can attest the fact he answered the phone because when I called, I didn't have Skip's number in my phone of all things. So I said, I'll just call down at the car dealership. So he answers the phone. I says, hey, I'm looking for Kip Young. Is he there? I'm talking to him. Yep. You answered the phone.
I
Yep,
answered
no
pretty
doubt.
regular,
Yes,
pretty
you did.
regular, 6 days a week.
There you go.
I've missed one day of work this week, and it was getting all over me, Frank. Can you believe that?
No, heck with them.
Got to get that quote up. Got to
What are you
sell
doing
something.
missing one day?
Yeah, one
I just say, hey, I'm 70 years old. Just, you know,
Take it easy.
lighten up here. But like I
Yeah.
said, if you won't miss another day, George Foster will
Well, I
be here. in
appreciate
town
you guys
tomorrow.
inviting me up
Oh,
here.
it's
First
been
time
good.
I've been here.
Yeah.
First time been here.
Have you ever been in the theater?
No.
Well, I tell you what, I do have a couple cards if you wouldn't mind
Oh,
signing
yeah.
those.
Yeah, I won't charge you too much.
Okay, well, let me know.
And we won't sell it on
We're going,
eBay.
We're going
No
to
eBay sales.
we're going to bill it to Bill. All
Of
right.
course, sure. Go right
Actually,
ahead.
I've actually got one of your signed cards already
Okay. No
from
problem at all.
eBay,
Jerry,
but I'm gonna give
do you
them to
have a
these
phone
three
on you?
guys.
Yeah. Well, it's in my car.
Okay, well, the reason I was saying, although you can go out and take the picture and we can always send it to him.
Yeah.
We
get
want you
picture
to
of the
take a
marquee.
picture underneath the marquee with our logo on it, out front.
Yeah.
And bill me for the coffee mug. He's walking out of here with a Wake Up Wilmington mug.
Well, that's the $80
All right.
one.
Oh,
Are you
I
sure?
don't care.
Don't
Send
drink,
the end of the
don't
bill.
drink coffee, but I'll appreciate the mug.
Send the end of the bill. I don't care. She pays the bills.
All right.
Well, Bill, your job and for the next minute is keep
Yeah.
talking about your stuff.
Okay.
Jerry's gonna get Kip a picture, but I gotta get him to sign a few cards for me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Where do you want me?
And
All
I'll
right.
give you.
Thank you,
my
sir. I
business
appreciate it,
card.
my friend.
I've
That's
got
all right.
Bill, you carry on.
All right. Well, now
We're gonna
let's
start Wake Up
we did
Washington
baseball. So now
Courthouse.
we're going to
Oh,
talk a
no.
little bit
Maybe we'll
about
have you up there.
basketball. The
Yeah,
NBA
I've done
Finals,
this for a long
Indiana,
time.
must-win situation, and it was a
They
winner
wanna,
go
they
home.
wanna walk through there real
And they
quick.
did force Game 7. They defeated Oklahoma
Yeah,
City.
take a little tour here real quick.
I have
108
friends come up
to
here all the
91.
time.
And series now tied at 3-3. They won the first half 62-48 and held on in the second half. UD standout Obi Toppin had 20 points, so now it comes down to decisive game number 7, and that'll be on Sunday evening at Oklahoma City. So the Pacers did survive, and they won their last game to be played this year at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Doing some research on not only getting ready for the ball game, or the conversation with Kip, I should say, talking about a guy that really deserves some recognition, although he doesn't get a lot of it, who helped assemble the Big Red Machine. We're talking about Dave Bristol. Was doing some research and happened to take note that Dave Bristol's birthday is coming up on Monday. He'll be 92 years old, and had a good run with the Reds, but not quite good enough in the eyes of management and Bob Housem and so forth, and they non-renewed him after the 1969 season. But the amazing thing is he still came back to the Reds whenever he had a chance. He parted on good terms. He actually worked with Sparky in the off season, and they were able to talk about how the team was going to be for 1970. And to his credit, Sparky in his book even said that he owes a lot to Dave Bristol for being so congenial with him, and he really appreciated that. He later came back to the Reds as a third base coach for Pete Rose in 1989, and he was hitting coach and third base coach for Tony Perez in 1993.
They're not
You
working.
don't need them today.
This is picking up the
Oh,
sound.
I
Yeah,
got you.
you're
Okay, just
good.
talk.
We had
Yeah,
sound.
just
That's
talk.
right.
Okay, I got you now.
You know how to talk, right?
Okay, of course. Yeah, ask Deanna. And I think I do probably talk in my sleep.
Well, we did.
I heard that
talk to
question was asked yesterday. I'm in Chillicothe, and the lady that I work beside, she says, Bill Davis is making a comment that you talk in your sleep. I said, yeah, I probably do. Probably. But, you know, the thing I would say about Dave Bristol with the Reds was you got to look at the fact that he brought up Johnny Bench, tutored Johnny Bench a lot and put him in as catcher. Tony Perez developed him. Lee May blossomed with the Reds under Dave's tutelage as well. In fact, they traded Darren Johnson to give him a spot. So, and Tommy Helms talks about glowingly how Dave developed him too as a shortstop, as a second baseman, and so forth. So, you know, just a little shout out on behalf of Dave Bristol. He'll be 92 years old, amazingly enough, coming up on Monday. Now, talking about the Reds. The Reds lost to Minnesota 12-5 to close out the series, but they still won the series 2-1. They'll be in St. Louis tonight. Brady Singer will go for the Reds. Should be able to get some runs on the board because it seems like they always produce when Singer's on the hill. He is 7-4 on the year, and the Reds are 39 wins, 36 losses, 6.5 games behind the Cubs. But this series right here with St. Louis is pivotal. They are 1 game behind the Cardinals for third place in the NL Central. And like Terry Francona says, Tito says, you got to win series if you're going to make up ground. If they could get within 2 or 3 games of the Cubs, they got a shot in the second half. That's the way to look at it. You just take it 1 game at a time or a series at a time. And Dusty Baker used to talk about that too. The key is winning the series. You're going to lose a game. We all know that. I mean, the season's 162 games. If you win 100 games, you'll probably win the championship, or at least have the capabilities to win the championship. So I was going to make mention of the Tigers too when Kip was in here with us. They still have the best record in baseball, 48-28, 20 games over 500, and lead Cleveland by 9.5 games. I'll tell you what, the Tigers, I think they are destined this year. This could be a team of destiny this year. I do like my hat. My favorite American League team is the Tigers. I spent many a day, many a night listening to Ernie Harwell and Paul Carey and also Ray Lane that called their games too. Remember Ray Lane?
Oh, yeah.
If you don't mind.
Yep. Kip, thanks to you again for coming, man. We've really enjoyed it.
Plus,
I've been looking
for all
forward
your
to this.
used car needs, there
That's
you go.
right.
Hillsboro Auto.
Right on Route
Especially if
62
you want a
beside
If you want a
McDonald's.
truck, yeah, they got lots of trucks now. Trucks are almost as expensive as houses anymore.
Yep.
They're crazy, you know it?
So the sports season continues right now. Of course, we talked about baseball, and as I mentioned, the NBA Finals. The NBA season will come to an end
Now that
Sunday
was
night.
in Indianapolis.
Yes, that
last
was
night,
at
right?
Cambridge
So they're going to
Fieldhouse.
7, right?
So it'll be at OKC.
Yeah.
It'll be at Oklahoma City.
Was there ever any
on Sunday? I
Well,
figured
was
it
that
was
the team
7.
that was supposed to
Thank
sweep
you.
the other
I
team?
know. Yeah, that's the joke.
Nice to meet you.
Charlie,
Oh, Jerry, you gonna get his,
I-
you already get his picture?
No,
yeah, they're going out on the street and taking
I,
it onto the marquee.
I gave
yeah,
him
what
plenty
did
of
you got?
exercise this morning.
He sure did. Well, I was trying to
find
walk
my-
him through town. I said, "No, come down
I
this
can't
street
believe I
here in
got
Sugar
lost
Tree."
in town of Wilmington.
It's like my dad said,
I
I
kept
hate
going around
that
in
town.
circles.
All the one-way streets. He said, I get confused. Oh, I guess we'll go out and take a picture real quick. All right, we'll be
All
right
right, you gonna get your picture taken? All right, all right.
back with Kip.
I hope I
Sure.
wasn't too bad on
Oh,
TV.
no, you're great.
First time I've been on TV in a long
It's up
time.
to you, Charlie.
You're fine, I got it, no problem. All right,
You got some birthdays?
I do, but I have news, wait, you got the news.
Everything do his news segment.
Let's have some news.
All right, let's see.
And with the news, here's Charlie.
Are you going to come out and take a picture too? Yeah, take a selfie with him.
All right, robots are poised for unprecedented growth right now. White Castle and Jack in the Box are working on the Flippy flipping the burgers, where a robot comes in and does that now.
But they've had robot burger flippers for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're
Go-
getting
going
more.
mainstream?
Yeah, they're getting more.
Going mainstream.
Another
So
SpaceX.
Rachel, there's our future jobs.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Yep.
Won't be able to flip any burgers.
Nope.
Another SpaceX ship explodes during tests. That's the 10th SpaceX ship with issues
I
this
think they
year.
got that down pretty well now.
Yeah, they know how to blow them up.
Yeah.
That's like me. I can tear a heck up out of stuff. I just can't put it back together. Israel and Iran, nuclear facility hit in Iran yesterday, a hospital hit in Israel. Israel says a total, the Ayatollah needs to be taken out. And the Shah is waiting in the wings. You
You
know,
mean the Shah's son?
the Shah's son, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he would be the new Shah, right? I'm not sure what
He
the
would be
Shah
the
is.
Shiha.
Yeah.
Shiha.
Okay. He would be the one that would take over if they do regime change.
They do?
If they do, yeah.
Yeah.
So
who made the cookies?
JJ. She
Oh.
brought in cookies.
All right.
Uh,
She didn't make them though.
Yeah,
She did make them?
she made them.
All right, I got to test. I gotta test
Russia
them.
says stay out. Tells Americans to stay out. But they also tell Iran to give up her nuclear weapons. So,
So they're telling us to stay out of where?
out of the Israel-Iranian conflict.
Oh.
But they are telling Iran to give it up. So they're, I guess, trying to play peace officers. X is going to offer stock trading online now. You can do all your stock trading off of X. There's a listeria outbreak going on. Chicken Alfredo, if you buy it in Kroger or Walmart, be careful. 3 have died already. And
3 chickens?
3 people
Oh.
from listeria.
Uh-huh.
17 others are sick with it. The Lakers, we talked about that yesterday, sold for $10 billion. Pacers won last night, so that's 3-3.
So the final game will be Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday at 8. That's right. I think it's at Oklahoma City.
That was the team you said that would sweep.
That's what everybody said. I wasn't the only one. There's a lot of people who are saying that. Pan Am is back. Pan American Airlines, they're going to try to bring it back. They're offering like private deals. They have a 12-day luxury trip through Europe.
On a plane?
Stops in the UK, France, Portugal, Ireland, to name a few. How much do you think this is for the hoi polloi? What do you think that 12-day trip through Europe with stops and everything, food, your
$18,000.
hotels? A little higher.
Oh.
60,000.
60,000.
60,000. But dude, this is where the Pan Am, they were known for having like the open bars on planes.
Yeah, they've always
They
been
were-
a first-class operation.
Yeah.
Pan Am was the international carrier.
They're
you know.
trying. They're trying to get back
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
to.
No one's going to. Well, I mean, maybe people would. I don't know.
It's
I'm
gonna
waiting
be
for
a
the
while.
self-flying planes.
Yeah, well, that's
Right.
probably
Where
that's
they just they
Autopilot.
They fly them from the ground, Charlie.
autopilot has been doing that for years. Don't
Yeah,
you
but
remember
there's-
the airplane movies where they blow up the autopilot and he said,
But they still have to be in the plane. I'm talking about they're going to do this like drones.
"Oh, they could."
Someone will be on the ground flying them.
I bet they already are doing that.
Well, drones.
Some of those drones are big. I mean, you can put
Oh yeah, they're
people
as big as a
in.
plane. Well,
Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders get a raise.
I know they're going to make some big bucks.
$15 an hour to $75 an hour, 400% increase.
So they were only getting like
15.
15. No, they were only getting like $50 a game when I lived in Dallas.
Oh, that's
Just
yeah.
$50 a game.
Lately, it's been $15 an hour, but they just raised it to 75, which they can afford that. They got Jerry World out there. Come
Well,
on.
I mean, the Dallas Cowboys franchise is it's worth more than any
Yeah.
other professional sports franchise, in the world. So
Eric made landfall for
I
hurricane
didn't know he was out there.
in southern Mexico. Let's see,
So that was
Category 3 hurricane.
that was a Pacific hurricane.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Summer solstice, we talked about that. Airbus is dominating the Paris air show. They've so far accumulated, just from the Paris air show, $21 billion in sales and new
That's
business.
like 2 planes.
21 billion? I don't know how many it would be. I bet it's at least, oh, what do you think costs to build an airplane? 2 or 3 million at least, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
So probably 10 probably 10 to 15 maybe.
Did you get your
airplanes.
selfie?
More or less, yeah. Had to do a couple. Are we still on?
We're still on,
You,
and I
you-
just,
you didn't get the hang of how those pictures are taken on phones?
No.
They just started doing that
Oh,
about
few
20 years
decades
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Ask my wife. I let her handle all that stuff. All right. So what did we miss?
You've missed all the news, but
Yeah.
that's all right. We have
all the news that's fit to say.
local birthdays. Stephanie Galantine, her birthday today. Diane English, Charlie Warner, David Nicholas, Mark McKay, Cody Vance.
Oh, it's Mark McKay's birthday.
Yep, Robert Parkey.
Happy birthday.
The third, Robert Parkey the third, Zach Cawley, Corey Gunning, Abby Shrout, Vanessa Diaz Sandarusi, Kate Schulteis Teeter, and Linda Keene Nastad.
I just gonna mention her. I've got her on my Facebook feed.
Who else you got?
Mark McKay, Mary
I got-
Myers, who she works at the post office. She lives down in Peebles, down in Adams County. Good friend of Deanna's and mine. Oh my gosh, my radio instructor at Little Miami High School, Eric Edinson. E squared, I called him. E squared.
How long has it been since they actually had a radio station there at Little Miami?
Let's see, they shut it down
Didn't they
roughly
take,
10 years
didn't
ago.
they take
Took the tower
tower
down.
Yeah.
The tower that came from the Clinton County Air Force Base.
yeah.
I've often said, and the man deserves a lot of credit for having the impetus to get it going and the vision, if you want to call it that. Fred Kress, Fernando, but those of us that knew him well, we always called him Fred. Mr. Kress to me, of course. He was our high school principal, and then he became the assistant superintendent and elevated to superintendent at Little Miami. But back in 1972, I think it was, or 73, is when they actually filed the paperwork with the FCC and got the ability to do the student non-commercial radio station. And I was able to get my third class endorsement, my broadcast license, through my tenure there with the schools. I did it for 2 years. And then, of course, pursued getting my first class license, which I eventually got. But that was my door opener. Back then, you used to have to get a broadcasting license to be on the air. You had to have the third class
Right.
license with the endorsement. Well, luckily for me, I was able to get the engineering license. And so I have my first class
Yeah.
until the day they put me away.
Dean Thompson's watching, Rick Morton, Rita Wolf, Karen Lawwill, C.T. Bowen. How
Just
you
to
doing?
let everybody know, we're broadcasting straight through my phone using the software that we use to broadcast, but that we're not doing commercials or anything like that because we're not running through the switcher. We had an apparition this morning in the theater, on stage, and it's the first time that I've seen anything here in the theater, but it was definitely something. And Jerry and Rachel went down to investigate, and anyway, we were just having all kinds of problems with the broadcast and the software and everything else. And so we did manage to get on the air using the software on my phone because we couldn't, normally the phone is the camera and it connects to our switcher, which is on an iPad, but it wasn't connecting for some reason. So anyway, all kinds of shenanigans going on this morning, and I'm not talking about the usual ones from Jerry.
Yeah, no.
All right. Well, we got some celebrity birthdays, so let's guess them. John Goodman.
Oh boy.
Big guy,
Yep.
60s?
82.
Oh, way off base.
No, he's in between.
73.
That's right. Ding, 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 ding. Lionel Richie.
Ooh. Hello. Let's see. No, I forget what his favorite song was.
He's older than I think he is.
Used to be lead singer for the Commodores, then went solo.
Yeah.
81.
Too high.
Okay.
77?
Just a little bit high.
76.
There you go.
Should have went the year I graduated. What can I say, right? Yep.
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman. 68.
Lower.
See, I didn't say 69.
62.
Lower.
60 even.
Nope.
60.
Lower.
No way.
I guess
Really?
59?
59 is just a little bit high.
58.
58. You guys were working toward it. Bob Villa.
Whatever happened to him?
Now he's still alive.
He honked somebody off.
I guess.
You building houses still?
Well, he's pretty old.
They had a contract dispute. Is why he left.
Well, that happens often. Celebrity people on television feel they're worth more than what they really are, and then they find out they aren't, and then they're out of jobs.
68.
Higher.
73.
Higher.
Wow.
80?
Just a little bit high.
79.
79. Right, there we go.
I was waiting for Bill, but
Yeah.
he was busy.
I'm making notes on a couple
Bill's
things.
in deep.
Anne Murray. You needed me. You needed
Yeah,
me.
from
No.
Canada. She's Canadian.
But there was another song that she did that was more
Oh, yeah,
famous.
she did a lot.
Yeah, what was it? Free, something about a bird or free bird or I don't know.
64.
Oh, Anne Murray. Higher than that.
85?
Lower, but closer.
82.
Lower,
I'm terrible on age.
I'm 79.
just a little bit higher.
80.
80. All right. Mark Hamill, may the force be with you.
Oh.
I'm thinking of a different one. Okay.
You mean a skater?
He's close to my age, I think.
He is.
70. He's 74.
Yep, 74.
Yeah.
You kind of look like Luke. There you go.
Well, Hamill looks pretty old.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Jerry looks younger than him.
Bill is not my father.
Yeah. Jerry does look younger than Mark Hamill. So, but Jerry may not have been the partier that Mark Hamill was, but Jerry was a partier.
All right, Bill has to guess first on this one.
All right.
Oh.
Bill, you have to guess first.
Okay. Who is it again? What's the age?
You're supposed to tell me the age.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Terrell Pryor, ex-Buckeye.
38.
That's high.
35.
Just a little bit higher.
36.
36. There you
I
go.
was in the range.
You
I
were
was
in,
the
yeah, you were
ballpark.
definitely in the
For a
ballpark.
change, I was close.
You're in the ballpark.
In the ballpark.
All right, it's time for our. I'll give you the word of the day first of all. The word of the day is pratfalls. That's embarrassing mistakes. The ghost has given us a pratfall today because we don't have our commercials
Well,
right.
yesterday it was the Keys, so we were up in the green
Yeah, the
room.
Keys.
Yeah, and then today,
Lots of pratfalls this week.
today it was acting crazy. So I'm not even sure whether I want to reload the iPad and hopefully erase all the whatever voodoo that's on here, or whether I'll just go ahead and wait.
You're liable to have these dancing girls go across there that
I'll do
kind of
some.
see through.
I know. I'll do some test streams maybe tomorrow.
Do want to thank JJ Marie for the cookies.
Oh,
this morning.
absolutely.
I'll get
Have
mine,
you-
I'll
have
get
you got
mine
one
here in a
yet?
little
How
bit.
did
I
they
haven't
get
had one
here?
yet.
Did she drop them off?
Yeah, you were upstairs.
Oh, okay.
I asked her to stay, but she couldn't stay. They're not bad. They're pretty good.
Pizza and cookies
stuff.
sounds good. Yeah.
Charlie hasn't met a bad cookie.
Macadamia with white.
I know. I had one. I was sitting up there while you were out
No, we saw you.
redoing the marquee.
I showed Kip how to get into the show, and he says, "Is that us?" I said, "No, they're in there doing this." Oh, they're still, yeah.
Okay, in memory, Brian Wilson's birthday was today.
82.
Well, he just died
Yeah,
last
he
week.
would have been 82.
Errol Flynn also.
See, him, Lou Christie, and who else just died? They were all 82 years old. Lou Christie, him, and who else? Third
Mo,
entertainer.
Mo died yesterday.
Sly Stone.
Well, Mo.
Sly Stone. Yeah, seriously. Lou Christie, Brian Wilson, Sly Stone, all just died. They were all going to be 82 or had reached 82 years of age.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I have a special trivia question I was going to use yesterday for
Before you
Travis,
do that,
but I didn't get it.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I apologize for.
You've got some history too.
Well, but I missed the news. Oh, because I was.
Right.
Thank you. Yes.
Did
he's
you have
taking
anything on
pictures.
there about the in Ireland where they found the 800 bodies of children?
It wasn't on my feed.
were
this
seen.
morning.
That was crazy.
Where was this at?
Was that in a well?
It was in Ireland.
That was like wasn't it like an orphanage or something?
Yeah, they found them buried in an orphanage.
So were they buried or was it in a well?
They were in a well.
Because
Yeah.
they were in a well.
I
They
thought
were
they
in a
were. I
well.
thought they were all dumped into a well.
Yep.
But this was an orphanage. It wasn't Catholic though, was it?
I don't know, but it had been a home for unwed mothers at one time,
Right.
and it was an orphanage, and they found all these dead kids, and oh my God.
Could you imagine?
I just saw the headline for it yesterday, and
Yeah.
I didn't even.
That was crazy.
We were so busy yesterday, I didn't even get a chance to look at it. So
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm sorry.
no, nothing to be sorry about. All right. Well, I have a special. I was hoping Kip would be here because I would have done. He would have liked this too. Bill, here you go. This one's for you, but everybody can answer.
That's big of you, Charlie.
Who are the top 5 ERA leaders with at least 1,000 innings pitched?
I'm gonna say first guess is Bob Gibson.
Yeah.
Really?
No?
Sandy Koufax?
Nope.
Really? Yeah, come on, this is unreal.
ERA leaders. Let me put it this way.
Lefty Grove?
The first one.
And he's still alive?
The first one, his ERA was 2.21. And the fifth one was 2.75.
Is any of them still active or are they all
Yes,
deceased?
one is still active.
Wow. This
One
really
I have his
football.
autograph actually. I'll give you initials. For number 5, WF comes in. WF.
I was thinking Walter Johnson, but that just blew that out of the water.
The F, you could think of a car.
Ferrari.
Ford?
WF. Whitey Ford.
Whitey! Oh, yeah.
Okay, number
Okay.
4, JD. And this is the one I don't know that much of.
Jim DeShays?
No, Jacob DeGrom.
Of the
Jacob-
Mets?
Yep, 2.53.
Really? Wow, that throws me for a loop.
Okay.
I'm going to write this down.
Hoyt, I got it here, so you just copy it.
Wow.
Hoyt Wilhelm is
Yes,
next.
reliever, the knuckleball specialist.
2.52.
I was going to say, what about a reliever? And him or Eckersley would have been my first choice on that.
Now, the next one is an active player. CK.
National or American League?
National League. We even mentioned.
Clayton Kershaw.
Yep.
Kershaw.
And then the last one, MR. Had Enter Sandman as his walk-in music.
I don't know. I'm done.
By
with
mistake.
That won't be Trevor Hoffman. His was Hell's Bells or something.
MR, Yankee.
Mariano Rivera.
Yep, there you
Yep.
go. There you go.
But what really befuddles me is that Koufax and Bob Gibson are not included. Really?
Well, that was just the top 5.
Lord
I'm sure
have
they're
mercy.
probably in the top 10.
And Twin D, although Don Drysdale, probably not as effective as Koufax and Gibson, but those are the ones that would have came to my mind. Or how about Nolan Ryan?
Yeah, but everyone.
Everybody talks about his 7 no-hitters. He had a total of 12 one-hitters. What?
I know.
That's
Did he
unbelievable.
ever win a Cy Young?
I think he did once. I'd have to really do.
I
And
think so.
I don't know if it was with the Cal Angels. I think it would have been with Houston. Actually, I think it would have been with Houston. He may have won the Cy Young.
Okay.
Golly, wow.
Let's skip around a little bit. Jerry, let's go do some today in history.
Oh.
Because I want you to know cookie.
Charlie, you picked out today.
Jacob DeGrom, that
Pizza,
just threw me
cookie.
away. That just blew me
What's
away.
that one?
What the heck?
What's that cookie?
I don't know.
It's a
Sugar?
mystery cookie,
Yeah.
Charlie.
It's got an almond in it, doesn't it?
It's full of listeria.
You want a cookie?
Sure, and I'll take
Oh, so you're gonna give it to your wife?
Yeah, well, that way
Taste-
that way
taste
she can
test.
tell us what it is.
It's like Dee does with me with the Buckeyes. Check these and see if it tastes
I
Yeah.
would take offense to
Yeah.
that. He's feeding you a cookie that he doesn't know what it is.
What is it?
I'm a chocolate chip guy, so I'll probably just get one of those.
Yeah, we
In
got
1782, the U.S. Congress approved the
cinnamon
Great
cookie.
Seal of the
Cinnamon
United
roll.
States.
cinnamon.
What was that again, Jerry?
In 1782, the U.S. Congress approved the Great Seal of the United States.
Okay.
In 1793, Eli Whitney applied
Cotton gin?
for the cotton gin patent.
Oh, look at you.
And
Yeah, I'm just a barrel of laughs.
in 1863, West Virginia became what state, Rick? Come on. You,
The volunteer state.
no.
Oh, that's
25th.
Tennessee.
25th?
35th.
That's close.
The 35th
35th.
state of the U.S.
What
We
was
just
Ohio?
had a visit there. It was kind of interesting when I'm sure Deanna told you.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the flash floods.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
but,
Wheeling.
But who drives an hour to stay at a hotel where they're not even going to be?
We're members of
Just because of a
Hampton
hot
Inn.
tub.
Well, the hot tub is great. Don't get me wrong. Okay, it's just a good focal point there, and there's this nice sports bar restaurant across the street. But we couldn't eat at it with all the flooding and everything going on. They were actually shut down.
No.
You know,
In 1928, Washburn Crosby Company merged with 26 other mills to become General Mills. In 1941, the U.S. Army Air Forces was established, replacing the Army Air Corps. The Army Air Forces were abolished with the creation of the United States Air Force in 1947.
Now it's the Space Force.
In 1943, race relation riot erupted in Detroit. Federal troops were sent in 2 days later to end the violence that left more than 30 dead. In 1950, Willie Mays graduated from high school and immediately signed with the New York Giants.
probably considered the best all-around player of all time. Notice I says all around. Somebody that could hit, throw, had the speed. People talk glowingly about Willie Mays, no doubt. Number 24.
In 1955, the AFL-CIO agreed to combine names and merge into a single group. In 1963, the United States and Soviet Union signed an agreement that set up a hotline communication link between the two countries.
That was that red phone.
Yeah, that's the red phone. Who was president then? 63, is that Kennedy?
Kennedy.
It would have been Kennedy up through November 22nd,
Well,
and
yeah,
LBJ took
it
over.
would be Johnson. Yeah.
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 In 1966, the U.S. Open Golf Tournament was broadcast in color for the first time.
Oh, what color?
Just whatever color showed up in front of the camera.
I caught you off guard there, Jerry.
Yeah.
Details.
Yeah. I don't have very many details on this. In 1967, Muhammad Ali was convicted in Houston of violating selective service laws by refusing to be drafted. The U.S. Supreme Court later overturned the conviction. In 1983, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that employees must treat male and female workers equally, providing health benefits to their spouses.
John Poole is watching.
Sean, how you doing?
And-
Seth Caldwell is too.
And
I
in
get these alerts on my watch.
In
Okay.
2017, Mattel announced it was adding 15 new body types for their Ken doll. It's still not anatomically correct.
15 new body top. What's not anatomic? What's not correct?
He ain't got no thing.
He ain't got no thing.
I ain't saying nothing. I'm just letting
Well,
that go.
he does have a bump, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
But yeah,
No, in the front, he's got a bump. It's just a bump.
Okay, moving right along.
I
No,
have,
Bill, you don't have to go to
I have-
confession today.
I am not saying anything. I'm not even going to respond.
I have-
Hail Mary, Hail Mary.
I had
Bill's
a
gonna come
friend,
in here and spread, he's gonna throw holy water around next time.
I had a friend that got so embarrassed once because there was a group of people and her son came flying out with a Ken doll, and he proceeded to tell his mother that that doll had a problem. And something was missing.
Okay. At least he was observant enough.
He was about, I think he might have been 3 years old.
At least he was
Oh,
observant.
crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, this day in history.
All right, good job, good job.
Well, at least we were historically correct.
Yes,
Even if we
not
weren't.
anatomically.
Yeah, we
Anatomically,
were historically
we were not.
correct.
All right, well, we got chain connection ready to go.
Oh
goody.
boy.
We could go 2 against 2, so
Or we could not.
What, me and Jerry and then,
Rachel and
okay.
Rachel, you wanna play?
yeah.
All right.
So the RRs against the gentleman up here.
You know I got excited, right?
Oh, hell yes.
I want to win.
Yeah, yeah.
Hannah smacked me that day. She says, don't act like that again. I
This
says,
morning.
hey, what can I say?
Yeah.
So since she is my wife and we'll let her pick, you want to go first or pick A and B?
Good choice.
Pick A or B.
So we want A or B?
A.
A.
They can call
Well,
them
Rick
A. We
likes
go
that.
first with column B.
So you guys go first with column B. Here we go.
How'd you score on these, Charlie?
I wasn't very good with these. Well, no. One I was good. The other one, yeah. I didn't write down the numbers. I was busy yesterday. Got a lot of stuff to do. All right. So you guys are first with column B. So here we go.
Here we go.
Horse R.
Horse race. Horse.
Horse race?
You want any more pizza?
No.
He's gonna throw it out.
Horse
Horse race.
Yeah.
Is that what you say?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
There you go.
Race.
Ding, ding, ding.
Race C.
Race car. Race.
card.
Car.
No,
yeah,
I'll go
could
with
be
race car, C-A-R.
So which one?
Yeah.
Race car is right.
Yeah.
Car.
So I tried.
Car P.
Carpool. Carport. Part or pool. Or,
Car player. Carvana.
Boo.
I'll bet you.
Don't say that in front of Kip. No.
I think.
Well,
I,
he's
Well,
not
Kip's on the
here.
way now. Yeah, yeah.
I think carpool would be more.
Sean Poole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. What do you think?
Just give us your answer.
Car what?
Pool.
Pool. That's right.
Oh,
Yeah,
good job.
hey.
Glad.
Pool.
Go with your gut.
They may make the run. They may do it. Pool P.
I doubt it.
Pool party.
Pool party.
Pool party is right.
Oh my gosh, that's 4, right?
Yep. Party.
Yeah.
The man can count.
I'm
Party.
scooting over. I'm gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, you're gonna get knocked out.
Party T.
Party time.
Party time. What? I protest. I file a protest right now.
It's party time, Rachel. Let's get it here.
Social W.
Guys.
You should definitely get
Party
this.
T.
Social W.
What do you think, Rachel?
That was a good answer. That.
Social W.
First thing comes to mind.
Yeah.
Warrior. Why would she know?
She
What was the word?
communicates with some of these people.
What was the word?
Social W.
Women.
Well, we all
well,
call
W
them
stands for
women.
weirdo.
Women, weirdo.
Social warrior. Why not?
Weirdos.
All right. So here we go. You guys had horse race, race car, carpool, pool, party, party, TR.
Party.
Party train?
Is that your answer?
Yeah, go with it.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, come on.
Okay, social WO.
Whatever happened to common sense?
Party.
Social WO? Wombat?
Oh,
What?
that's what I thought.
There's a bunch of them here in Wilmington. Social WO. They're all out that direction toward where Rick lives.
Now,
Out my direction?
be nice, as Deanna would say, be nice.
Ah. I thought that
I give him the
I
clock.
thought the iPad was.
I thought you were going to say give them a clue.
You damn!
I just told them they're out that direction. Think about
Yeah,
what's
well-
out that direction where you go.
I don't have a clue what
I
his,
don't either.
his clues are terrible.
They're great.
Hey,
Where Rick
Bill,
lives out.
you see
know
what's
where
out
Rick
there?
lives.
Right.
Out there.
on the table here, right here, on
cup?
the table. Yeah.
He
You
left
gotta take
it.
it?
He
He left his
mug.
cup.
I'll run it down to him.
All right.
Or else I'll run it to Ron Ninlow, who'll take it down to him.
All right.
Yep.
5,
I don't know.
4, 3.
It's one of those words.
Social WO. 2. Nobody helping you? 1.
No one's helping us because we're not connected to the stream.
Yeah, they can hear us still.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I mean, there's nothing, I don't have any.
I got lots of comments.
I don't have any comments pulled up. This is what I got.
Yeah, I got all kinds of comments, but none are related to the game yet.
I've seen 3 of them. There's 3 answers on there. That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, I'm not.
What you got?
I'm not cheating today.
Party.
All right,
Really? I will if I get the chance.
Well, give me the. Give
I
me the
want to
word
win,
then.
but I want to do it the
What's
right
the
way.
word?
Party TRI.
Trick.
Party train.
No, TRI.
Yeah.
Party.
Party trick.
Oh. Party.
They get paid big money for that.
Party trip. Party. Shoot.
TRI. Can't add a whole lot to it.
Party trip.
TRI, correct?
You keep saying it, but it's still the same thing.
Party trip?
Party trip.
Let
Is that
it go,
your-
Jerry.
you
Let
going
it
with
go.
Is that your final answer?
No, I'll go ahead.
Trip.
Yeah.
What is going on here? This
Social.
is ridiculous.
WOR.
Social work. Social worker.
Social work. There you go. Work P.
Workplace.
Place.
Place C.
Place C.
Place C.
Oh, man, it's party trip.
Here these guys over here talking.
Class.
We'll figure this one out.
Place what?
Class.
Place class.
Place class. Yeah. Place C.
Oh, yeah, idea. This is a sucky game.
I know.
What are you pointing at, Charlie?
Ah!
You hitting your head?
Trying to help you out.
He feels so bad because this is a sucky game that he's trying to give us some clues.
Give him the clock. Give him the clock.
Cup. What are you pointing at? Cup?
No, not the cup.
Base.
5. C.
Oh.
4.
See.
3.
No way.
2. 1. All right.
Is our next letter C?
Your next letter is C.
Party trick.
Party trick. That's
There you
right.
go. Okay.
All right.
Put us
Rick
out
told
of
you
our misery.
right away.
Put us out of our misery.
Okay.
Trick Q.
Trick question.
Trick question. There you go. You won.
Hey, how about that? All right.
Well, there's a busted
At least I
eardrum.
didn't jump up and then throw my hat. Yeah.
I can't hear anyway.
Place, let's finish them up.
Oh, God.
Place CA.
That's 2 weeks in a row. I can't
I
believe
like
it. I'm on a winning
over
streak.
there.
Huh?
Cards.
Place card.
Place card.
Yeah, there's 3 baseball cards I had put over there for him to sign.
Oh
Did you
yeah.
sign
that
them or
makes a lot
not?
of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Card T.
Card T.
Card T.
Card trick.
No, not trick.
Not card. You're saying C-A-R-T?
No, card.
Cards.
I was
C
gonna say
A R D.
Cartoon. Yeah.
Card T.
Table.
Table.
Table. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Don't have the table,
Table
Bill.
T.
Stop.
Yep. Tabletop.
Table tennis.
Tennis. Tennis
It's called
B.
ping pong.
Tennis
It's
ball.
not called table
Tennis
tennis.
Huh?
Tennis ball.
Nope.
Tennis B.
Not ball. Women. Think of women.
Well, we don't have balls.
Exactly.
I ain't saying nothing. I'm racking my brain on this one now. This is
Tennis
crazy.
brain.
First 3 letters are right.
Tennis.
Bray.
Tennis brawl. BRA.
That's a sports brawl, Jerry. It's not a tennis brawl. It's a
Well,
sports brawl.
I know it was a
Get your
question.
brawls right, Jerry.
It was a question. He said BRA, and I thought, what the?
Bracelet.
Bracelet. There you go.
Oh,
Trying to give subtle hints to you guys.
where do they come up
Not
with
good.
these?
Was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
That's Charlie's World.
No, I get it off the internet. There's a site which I will not tell you because then you'll get cheat.
Nah, well, I
Oh
really,
yeah.
You already told me because I
I got all that
because I
extra
was-
time at night
stay
to
away
just
from
look
it.
up these
Yeah.
sites.
I want to win the fairway.
I stay away from that.
Since it's the internet, we have this thing called Google. You
Right.
could probably Google the name of the game and it would show the site.
There's several. There's
Yeah.
several. Yeah.
Well, why don't you find a good one?
There's one.
Well, I had one. This is actually the second one I'm using. Because the first one, they don't have it up there anymore.
That one that I do gives you like 5 or 6, and then you can go. You can either work your way from the top down, or the bottom up.
That's the way this one is too.
Yeah, and it's
Well, just for those that and because once again we're not doing commercials today because we had the ghost glitch earlier.
Let's get personal. It's getting ready
Sunday,
started. Yeah.
Sunday, July the 13th at 5 o'clock. Let's get personal.
We even mentioned that last night.
will premiere.
July 13th. Let's get personal. Personal.
yeah.
Come there and listen to Dr. Jeffrey Schusler and
And
his
you didn't
football.
do your you didn't do your way this morning. You did it
We did.
yesterday, and the guys punked you, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. It was funny. I liked it. It was funny. You guys had that worked out, obviously,
Oh,
beforehand.
obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. No, I didn't do it today because we were having all the technical difficulties. So
Kind of
Maybe-
breaks up the routine,
it
right?
does. It does.
Well, hopefully, I'll figure out tomorrow what was going on. Because the strange thing about it was,
Well, tomorrow is Saturday.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'll practice. Well, you know,
There you
I'll be able to do some practice test runs
Okay.
or whatever. But for some reason, it kept losing. You know, I have to set the stream up ahead of time, schedule it,
Right.
and the schedule was disappearing on the iPad. So I don't know whether it's the iPad that's acting screwy or the.
Something strange going on out there in the theater. I know.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was definitely something on the stage.
Let me talk about your show on Thursdays. You have a car
Thursdays.
show. What time is that?
That is 4 to 7, but the Facebook Live is 5:30 to 6:30.
Okay, okay.
So
Well,
if you wanna come up.
I will crash that show next
You
week.
need to
No
bring.
pun
You,
intended.
you need to bring Deanne with you. You guys need
If
to
I
eat.
can get her to drive, she won't drive to Chillicothe. Maybe I can get her to drive to Sabina.
Well, I tell you what, it's
What?
She doesn't like driving to Chillicothe.
I guess not.
Oh, you'll be coming from Chillicothe.
Yes, I'll be coming in from Chile. Yes,
Who drove to Steubenville?
she did.
So she'll drive to Steubenville. She won't drive to Chillicothe.
See, that's my point exactly,
Isn't
right
that
there.
the same route
What's up?
initially?
Right. Yeah. Oh well.
Don't
Hey.
you have to go through Chillicothe to get to Steubenville?
Well, first of all, going to Chillicothe, she gets to see her husband. But going to Steubenville, she gets to see Dean Martin.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm
Worth
going
the
to,
drive. Yep.
I'm going to ask
Might
a
be the
question.
content
But all I'm
involved.
saying, here's the thing: if you want to go someplace get something to eat, take your choice on Bridge Street. You got Tumbleweed, you've got Longhorn, and she's talked about going to Longhorn Steak. And there's also Texas Roadhouse. And what else? They even have the Frisch's now. Yes, they do. They have Frisch's.
Long John Silver.
They
Steak
got
and
White
Shake.
Castle. Yeah, Steak and Shake. You name it, it's on that
Strip.
strip.
Red
Tumbleweed,
Lobster, Red Lobster.
Red Lobster. Yeah, I mean,
What's the
shout out,
what's the-
Golden Corral.
So you mean there's 3 different steakhouses on Bridge Street?
Yeah.
Well, there's Lone Star,
Tumbleweed?
Longhorn. Yeah.
Tumbleweed, and
Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse.
Yep.
Which
And
is
a
my
Roosters
favorite.
even too. But I mean, we got Roosters here.
Yeah. Well, they got
I had Roosters last Father's Day.
they have the other
daughter.
chicken place there too. What's it? Cane's.
Yeah.
Raising Cane.
Yeah, Raising Cane's.
Cane's.
Right, I told her that too.
Yeah.
Now everybody would think when I say White Castles, you're going to think of the hamburgers. I love chicken rings. I could eat chicken rings all day long.
Yeah, they're good.
Yes,
they're
like
good.
those.
Well, I tell you now, if you go downtown though, you could eat at the Cross Keys Tavern, which is a pretty good place to eat. Also, there's the White House,
So
the burger place down there on the corner.
So they have they closed the paper plant yet?
No,
they're in
but
process.
It's not looking good as far as keeping it open. No, it's not.
Bill, I got a question.
Yes.
You may or may not choose to answer this question.
Uh-oh.
And I won't hold it against you either way.
Is this a rabbit hole question?
No, not really. I don't think. It may be.
Okay.
Why does Deanne choose to drive whenever you guys go somewhere?
I do have a tendency to fall asleep.
When you're driving?
Sleep apnea. Yeah, it does.
Oh.
I mean, maybe it's because I get up so early in the morning, and
I've had that happen before.
I actually do. Sometimes
So
I've got to
you
watch
drive to
myself.
work?
I turn the radio up real
Do you
loud.
drive to work?
Yes,
And
okay.
she
it's
obviously
different.
doesn't go with you.
Well, that's right, but I mean, it's later in the day. I think it's because of the tendency at night and so forth, but I do leave it driving to her. Lots of times I'm either doing like the show prep with Charlie or preparing for a ball game, getting things ready on my phone and so forth, but it's not uncommon that all of a sudden I'll just...
So
Yeah.
you will be driving and you'll fall asleep and hit the barrier in between.
The guardrail.
Yeah.
Well, I've done it with other cars, and I sure don't want to do it to my Honda right now. Yeah, I'm telling you that right now.
You ever had that problem, Jerry?
I had a 92 Caprice.
Did
I'll
you
tell
ever
you
get
what,
off-
it had all kinds of dents and everything.
Did you ever get off the road, just like, walk for a minute or get some air?
I have done that before. Stop and get coffee, step out and relax,
That
do whatever
helps.
I need to do. Yeah, but now, like a good case in point though was that night I went to that All-Star game in North Adams. I tell you what, I was wide awake that night because of all the twists and turns and hills and everything going down there to North Adams. But I do have a tendency to fall asleep in the evening. Yeah, sleep apnea, so I have to watch that. I let her drive. What the heck? She's the navigator.
I have a tendency to just fall asleep when I get home because I'm old.
And you're in your favorite chair.
That's not really my favorite, but it's the chair I use, yes. I need to go see the Stiflers and get me a better one. Rachel we need to throw hers away. I need to talk her into taking mine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I need to
Don't
go
let
get-
him do that.
I'll just take my own money and buy my own damn chair. It's gonna work.
And I'm going to go,
You get his hand-me-downs.
Right.
Yeah.
oh, this is the perfect size for
I
me.
have a chair I want.
What do you mean a perfect size? You've already worn it in. Is that what you mean?
Well, no, it's a love seat. It's nice.
It's a love seat.
I don't have a big
Isn't a love
recliner.
seat for more than one person?
Yes. But it'd be perfect
Unless
if I
it's a
should
dog.
lay down.
What about a dog love seat?
Well,
Yeah.
we got dogs and the cats.
Yep.
so- and they always share.
I got that new love seat I bought. It's got a console in the middle of it it's got a charger in
I
it.
hate when you have that in the middle. It's hard to snuggle.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's why I got a love seat and a couch.
If I could have maybe 2 or 3 minutes, I do have a few things. I
Well,
want to
go ahead.
mention. Okay, sir, I don't want to interrupt your flow.
No,
I'll
you're
let you have the
fine.
last
We
word.
have no flow, Bill.
It was
You're
neat
fine.
with Mike Wallace coming in today. I really admire that man, always have. And you know, the thing you got to think about with Mike is he stepped into a tough situation. Let's face it, it's like what Earl Bruce inherited when he succeeded Woody Hayes as head football coach at Ohio State. He came in here and succeeded Bill Ramsar. Now, technically, he was not the first choice. I know who it was. A man by the name of Larry Shank was selected by Dick Scott, who was the athletic director at Wilmington College at the time, to be the head football coach. Larry was head coach at the time at Heidelberg College. And he molded over for the weekend. Monday morning, when they were getting ready to have a press conference, because Dick had called me at the radio station and said they were going to announce the new head coach, Larry backed out on him. He was told that he would get the athletic director's job at Heidelberg if he stayed and could continue as head football coach. Well, he later ended up going to Muskingum. So, long story short, Mike was next on the list. Mike Wallace has been a very successful, innovative coach wherever he's been. Coached with Don Nealon at West Virginia along with his brother Dwight. And they actually competed for the national title back in 1988 against Lou Holtz and the Fighting Irish. But, you know, Mike built a great program here. Some tough circumstances because they went from NAIA to NCAA, and so there's more stringent rules and so forth. But he brought in Jim Marsh. Late Jim Marsh was his OC, offensive coordinator. Tim Gabbard was his first defensive coordinator, and he really had things clicking. And you know what? You talk about high-powered offense. Oh my gosh, did they ever put points on the board? We had some great quarterbacks here through the years. Adam Ryan, left-handed thrower, man, he could just air the ball down the field. And he was really good. And also another one was Eric Noble, a local guy from here. Remember Eric Noble? Yeah, he was a good one too. A backup quarterback was Scott Killen.
I heard of him.
Right? And also he had two great receivers, Jason Tincher and Rex Huffman. Rex Huffman, the chiropractor, and Jason, of course is over at Bellbrook, the Bellbrook connection between the quarterback and the two receivers.
So Killen's over there now, isn't
Yeah, Killen's also the OC and assistant principal, I think, at that school also at Bellbrook. But Mike really had it going for Wilmington College, and they kind of struggled a little bit. I do think that Kevin Burke is going to try to give it a tough go. He knows it's a tough go, but he's going to try to get him over the hump. Now, when Mike chose to leave the college, came on at Wilmington High School as the AD. What a tremendous job he did. And the thing I think you got to look at is the community people here, including me, wanted Jim Brady to be the basketball coach after Jeff Stevenson. But Phil Warner, the superintendent at the time, said, I want you to go to Wabash, Indiana, and take a look at this guy that I've heard about. He's doing a nice job. Now, you know Indiana stuff. His name is Michael Noska. Get to meet Michael Noska and find out and see what you think about him. I'm on the committee. Mike comes back and he says, Billy, I think I'm going to have to go along with Phil on this one. What do you mean? He said, well, this Mike Noska guy, pretty good. I think he'll do us a nice job as head basketball coach. So credit Mike Wallace with making the tough call and choosing to bring Mike Noska here at Wilmington High School. That's the truth. And one other fact I want to talk about was, I won't cry, Fred Matthews. Wow. Longtime Wilmington School administrator, principal.
Nice guy.
Oh my gosh, he and Carolyn.
Super nice guy.
Salt of the earth, no doubt about it. And he was later business manager for Chuck Dowler. And I remember something funny. I have to work this in. Chuck was all about getting the right people in the right places. And so whenever I had an idea of something, I would go to Fred first. And so we needed a high school principal. Scott Prebles had chosen to leave. He was the high school principal. And so I talked to Fred first. And I says, Fred, what do you think about Art Myers? He goes, boy, Bill, that's a stretch. He says, I'll talk with Mr. Dowler, Dr. Dowler, and see what he thinks. Well, between me and Fred, we convinced Chuck to hire Art Myers to be our high school principal. It did work out, and in hindsight, it looked out really good. So that was a nice thing about Fred. But he was the business manager. And I'll tell you what, that guy was tough as nails. He knew how to stretch the money. He was another Roger Bohr. Roger could squeeze dimes out of nickels. Fred Matthews was just about the same way. But he and Carolyn did so much for our family, and I credit Carolyn with helping me get the opportunity to go back on the school board at one time. But the thing that we'll always remember about those two people, and we never asked, never, they hosted the party for Scott when they graduated from the high school. And also, they said, we're going to do this also when you graduate from Capital. He went to Capital and graduated, and they had parties for him there. And, you know, we wanted to give him something for it. No, we want Scott. We like Scott real well. And it's just something that, you know, I've always been so appreciative of. Well, today they're having his visitation, and they'll be putting him to rest. But I'll tell you what, Fred and Carolyn, two of the greatest people ever in our community, and did so much for Wilmington High School and Wilmington College, no doubt about that. So rest in peace, Fred. Great man.
Charlie, you got last thought of the day.
Sure. This is Brian Wilson, who just passed away last week, Beach Boys. I consider myself to be a crusader of love. I try to spread love around the world as best I can because I know I have a handle on
Well,
love.
those are the words I live by, Charlie.
Is it? There you go.
Yeah.
You like spreading that love,
I
don't you?
like spreading.
All right.
That's
well,
not the only thing Rick spread.
Jerry said that, not me. Jerry said-
So, who do we have coming in tomorrow, Charlie?
Tomorrow, nobody.
It's
Almost caught him.
Saturday, right?
That's right. It's Saturday.
Tomorrow,
You have a
I'll
show
be at the
this
sport.
weekend?
I'll be at the sports card
Sports
show.
card show. I got to work in Hillsboro tomorrow.
Sunday, I will be at Waynesville for the Shriners show.
And
Car
do
show.
we have anyone coming in Monday, or are we winging it?
Monday, as of right now, I think we're winging it. So
Jerry, get your hip waders on.
let me look.
We got it.
Yeah.
Let me look
Got
just
it
to make
covered.
sure. Okay, we got Tom Breckle coming on Wednesday. We got John Warden and Bill on Friday. The Fayette County Connection on Thursday. Seems like I may have left somebody out, but we'll see. Monday and Tuesday.
Yes, Bill.
Give me 30 seconds. Is there a way he could tape and do a feature like a semi-podcast or something with George Foster?
Well, we're going to
Sure.
we're going to do that.
Oh man, and substitute that for Monday. And ask him, did he ever play in Crosley Field?
I don't think he did he?
He did.
Did he?
No, that's right. He did not because, well, he would have had
It'd
the
been
Giants.
the Giants, maybe.
Yeah.
Right, because he was traded to the Reds in the offseason of 1971. Now, I am thinking he may have been in that final game at Crosley on June 24th, excuse me, because it was the Giants.
That
And
were
he
in the
may have
park.
been a
And the
part
Reds
of that
won, didn't
lineup.
they? Didn't the Reds win that last game?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
4-3, back-to-back home runs by Lee May and Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
Wayne Granger saved it. The last out was Bobby Bonds on a comebacker to Wayne Granger. That's the truth. I just remember those things.
Yeah.
But seriously,
But who's counting?
D says you're just all that unnecessary
8-0.
information. All right.
All right,
Seriously,
well-
he may have played at Crosley.
Yeah, I think so. Everybody have a good weekend.
Yep,
so
you
long.
too.
Just a
Hopefully we'll
while.
get rid of our gremlins, and starting
Yep.
next week we'll
So good day.
Wilmington.
There we
So
go.
long for just a while. You know what? It wasn't too bad, really.